Good day, everyone. Hope you're all doing well. Back with another optic review today, looking at the Steiner, or Steiner. I think I'm pronouncing it correctly, and before the one time that I think it's Steiner, it's actually, I'm pronouncing it wrong. We'll see. But this is the T1xi. This is a micro footprint red dot, which actually has a few really cool features to it. I've been really liking it, and actually comes in at a really, really nice price as well. I didn't want to buy another aim point and pay aim point prices, so wanted to try this out, and complete nice optic, I would say, especially for the price. It comes in very comparable to the aim point. So I suppose I'm going to start on the housing and the outward features. What you have here is it's fairly comparable to something like the Aimpoint T2. You have a brightness knob, albeit it's up on the very top here. You have 11 clicks, so the first few you have, 1, 2, and 3 are all usually pretty dim. They're much more suited for, of course, night vision. And this goes all the way up to 11. You have a 0.5 MOA elevation and windage adjustment right there. These are not capped, so do keep that in mind, but they are pretty well recessed. I haven't had them get bumped and lose my zero at all so far. Takes your standard CR2032 battery just in the brightness knob itself there. Nothing too fancy, very straightforward design there. I think one of the biggest real selling points, features of this optic that I found particularly cool, because I'm actually usually much more of a EOTech fan compared to just red dots. This actually has a reticle selection mode. So you see this button right here on the side. You can hold this and switch between 3 modes. You have just a traditional red dot, as I'm sure you're used to, just a 2 MOA, identical to, say, an aim point again. Or you can also get just a dot, or the last option you have is both. You have a dot and circle, which is what I like to use because, again, big fan of EOTech. So do note, you actually have 2 clear caps. You have the front and rear, so you can see through it even when you have it all capped up. One thing I do want to point out, though, on the reticle, something weird is actually your circle is always going to be dimmer than the red dot. So your red dot at brightness 11, which is what I have it on right now, like even in this broad daylight, it's blooming a little bit, super nice and bright. However, the circle never gets as bright. And if you turn this down a little bit, you can actually very clearly see that now I'm having some trouble, for instance, acquiring my circle. But obviously, yeah, the dot still has a bit of bloom to it, even on setting 8 right now. Now, I know some people are a fan of having a less bright circle compared to the dot itself. I just wish that either they gave you the option to increase both brightnesses or just had them the same brightness out of the gate. Unfortunately, you don't have a way to change how bright the circle itself is. Did want to point out, I did test the parallax on this, and very, very good. I don't really pick up any parallax at all. So compared to the last red dot I tested and reviewed actually a few weeks ago was the Seymour. That also doesn't really have bad parallax at all. But compared to this actually has imperceptible amounts of parallax. And as far as the glass itself, I looked through both this at the range and my comp M5 aim point at the exact same time, and I really cannot pick up on a difference as far as the glass quality. They are so nice. Both of these optics are so nice as far as glass quality. But nice thing about the Steiner here is pretty much half the price of an aim point. In addition to that nice price, one thing I really find cool, so although I am using a mount on here that I bought separately, just an Arisaka 226, because I like taller mounts, this actually ships with a 1.5 inch mount, just your standard absolute co-witness, and then it also has a direct mount. So for example, like on an AK, if you want to run directly over your dust cover, you can totally do that. The overall weight is also very much in the ballpark. I'll put the exact numbers up on the screen, but it doesn't feel very different at all to pretty much any other micro red dot out there on the market. Only thing I can point out, which most likely won't matter, but maybe if you have a very niche setup, keep in mind that this is actually quite a long optic. So I'm actually going to flip these back up so you can see it's a little better here. So where most of these micro red dots would be pretty much flush with the legs, you can kind of see of the mount itself. This Steiner T1xi is very long in the front. I'm assuming that's to accommodate the complexity of that different reticle selection. It's not much, but yeah, it is a little longer. It's not made in China either, which I just always try to avoid, which is why I never review and will never touch Holosun optics, for instance. Thank you all for watching. If you have any other questions, let me know, and I'll do my best to get back to you in the comments. Other than that, Take care, and hope to see you on the next one. See you then.